Ladies and gentlemen, I have a question for you. Who the heck is a leader bike even for? So we're hot on the heels of the Yamaha R1 being canceled, and not in that kind of way, it's just like actually canceled. Yamaha Europe came out with a notification that they're not going to be pursuing Euro 5 Plus emissions, meaning that the bike is pretty much going the way of the dinosaur. And it's kind of sad to see a big old T-Rex of a bike like the R1 go in that direction. And it makes you wonder, you know, like obviously sales are down for super bikes. People aren't buying them like they used to. And honestly, what I think it boils down to, that not a lot of people want to talk about because it's unpleasant and very uncomfortable to mention these sort of things. It's the fact that people are broke. Like, we all love to sit around and say, oh, people aren't buying super bikes because, you know, they're uncomfortable and they're not practical and blah, blah, blah. Man, if people were making good wages, I guarantee you more motorcycle enthusiasts would buy top-of-the-line bikes and go to track days and spend all that juicy disposable income. But the fact of the matter is, not a lot of people have disposable income nowadays. You got people working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet. You have households where you got multi-generational, lots of people working. It's not good out there, you know. It's really not that good for the vast majority of Americans. And so to sit there and say, oh, it's the motorcycle enthusiast's fault, I don't know, I think that's quite lame. I really think it's a much bigger indicator of where the economy is rather than people's desires and predilections. And that's reflected in their preferences when they go and buy a motorcycle, right? More people are turning to bikes like, I don't know, the Honda Transalp or, you know, a Versys 650, a bike that can theoretically do anything, go anywhere, get a lot of use out of it, right? Because it's hard to justify buying a $25,000 track day toy and go to the track all the time and do all those sort of things, right? Ooh, can I make this corner downhill, no hands? Look at that. We're riding very unsafe, folks. Drop me a comment. Let me know how terrible of a rider I am. I'm just kidding, guys. Just goofing with you. So yeah, it's tough to justify something like that. But on the flip side, the type of people who do buy leader bikes, because there still are sales, right? Guys are still going out and, you know, dropping crazy money and getting loans at 17.99% to get the latest S1000 RR, and they're having some fun. Who is that buyer? Who is that person? And if my social media feed is to give me any indication, a lot of people buy leader bikes for clout. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but honestly, a lot of people buy these bikes because they want to go roll race their buddies, be the fastest thing, and then post about it on Instagram and get themselves caught by the Colorado State Police. Just kidding, Jixer Bra. We gotta rib you a little bit about it, right? A big reason why people buy these bikes is to be the quote-unquote fastest bro on the street. And, you know, nothing wrong with that, as long as you're having some fun, being safe. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh no, don't speed on your bike. Dude, people buy motorcycles to speed, especially something like an S1000 RR or a top-end leader bike. That's quite literally the reason they buy those things, you know? You paid for the speedometer, you're going to use the whole speedometer, right? There's really no point in buying a bike like that if you're not going to actually use it for what it's intended for.
Folks, we are wrapping up our BMW S1000 RR giveaway. Head over to yamanoob.co and get yourself 20x entries because this sweepstakes is ending on March 29th. You only have a limited time to get your entries in. You cannot get entered to win this bike after March 29th. April 10th is gonna be our winner selection date, so keep your eyes peeled on your email box to see if you're gonna win an S1000 RR from yours truly. Head over to yamanoob.co, get yourself 20x entries until March 29th. Don't miss it.
And it's interesting because a generation ago, people bought 600s and thousands and really didn't take them on the track very much. They just bought them just to cruise around with and thought they were these badass bikes that, you know, they could go out and have some fun with. But I really think our offerings have changed quite a bit in motorcycling. The adventure bike segment, all that sort of thing, has really blown up. I mean, people are buying touring bikes and adventure bikes like there's no tomorrow, basically. And again, I think that plays into the fact that those bikes are versatile, they're fast enough, they're comfortable enough. They're basically the SUV of motorcycling, right? Like, you can jump on a Africa Twin and, you know, you can tackle twisties, you can tackle some light gravel roads, but don't tell them you can do the same thing on a sport touring bike, because then people are going to get upset at you. But it's true, you can do most of that same stuff in a sport touring bike, but right now it seems very in vogue to, you know, hearken to that adventurous spirit. I think most people are not very adventurous, you know. Most people live lives of quiet desperation, and so, oh, look at that, that's a anniversary edition R7. That's a nice little bike. Yeah, most people live those kind of lives, and so buying an adventurous product can sometimes make them feel like they're living a better life than they actually are. I would live a better life if this light would turn green, because I am dying on this air-cooled Ducati in the heat here, but that's my cross to bear. I am paying tribute as the content creator that I am. Thank God. Let's go, baby. Come on. And let's hope to God my Insta360 doesn't fly off on the highway. I've already lost 2 of them that way, so we'll see if I was dumb enough and didn't quite do it. So anyways, the other thing I wanted to mention, obviously, is, yeah, like, you see more people buying these, like, big van touring rigs and these crazy SUVs and just all these things, all these products that are designed to make you feel like you're adventurous, like you're gonna go out there and tackle some great big thing and find yourself out there on the open road. I mean, the marketing for adventure bikes is like just honestly, it's nauseating, for lack of a better term, because most people buy them and just park them in their driveway. They don't really do much with them, you know. So it's kind of silly to do that with those bikes, you know. But yeah, sport bikes, R1s, leader bikes, that sort of thing, that buyer is in another way buying for an adventurous sort of spirit, you know. They're buying a motorcycle that they're like, yeah, like, I want to be the type of fast guy. I want to be the guy that does, you know, crazy stuff on his motorcycle. I want that high speed. I want that adrenaline. And those bikes will certainly tick off those boxes for you. So I think on the one end, people are becoming much more cautious, much more safe. You see this kind of social cooling happening with a lot of people. But at the same time, man, Gen Z is like borderline suicidal, man. These kids are out there doing 180 miles per hour, splitting through lanes for the clout on Instagram. And I'm like, my guy, chill out, you know, calm down. So it's a bit of a double-sided coin there with the people who are buying these sort of bikes. Had to flex on him. He thinks he's so cool with his Yamaha. This Insta360 is gonna get fucking obliterated, man. Jesus. Okay, we'll keep it there. Imagine my Insta360 gets clobbered by some soccer mom in a Suburban. Oh my God. This is my first time trying this setup, so apologies if it's jank or if I lose it. So the other elephant in the room when it comes to people buying leader bikes and who they're for, here's a very sad statistic for you. The average motorcyclist in America, and don't quote me on this, but I think I'm close, I believe they are 45 to 50 years old. White man, probably, you know, disposable income, right? Rode that economic gravy train in the 90s and early 2000s. Kind of fell first into some home equity. Isn't that nice? But, you know, those guys are all getting older, man. They're all getting older. They don't want to be uncomfortable, but they were the buyers in the early 2000s that were buying leader bikes, you know, because young guys love fast things, you know, and we're okay. Well, I say we, that's a generous we, isn't it? Yeah, I'm at 32 years old. But anyways, younger guys are okay with it because you're athletic, you're young, your body can take the abuse of, you know, your back's getting hurt, your wrists getting cramped, all that stuff. And so, yeah, those guys back in the early 2000s, they were buying those bikes. They had the credit to do so. They had the economic means to do so. And now, the vast majority of motorcycle enthusiasts are all in that 40 to 50 category. Come on, man, you're going to be 45 years old riding an S1000RR. Some of you are out there. I know you are. I've seen a few of you at the track and all that sort of thing. It does exist, but it's relatively rare. You're going to get something to go and chill out with and have some fun and, you know, go and enjoy the ride. You know, something kind of like this Scrambler, I guess. Something that's pretty and comfortable and you can do some miles with it, that sort of thing. I think that's probably what you're going to do. Boys, we have been just destroyed by traffic today. This is so sad. I want to get around this truck, but it's not safe to do so. I got no idea where people are coming or going. The other thing that's happened in the leader bike category is the naked bike class has become so strong. You know, back in the day, you'd get an FZ6 and it was like kind of a detuned afterthought R6 motor and all that stuff. Like, still a great bike, but not nearly what an MT-09 SP is nowadays, a KTM Duke 1390. I mean, it's got a freaking 1390cc V-twin doing 180 something horsepower. That was superbike performance back in the day. And a lot of guys have realized that, oh, you know, torque is the name of the game. Immediate accessible power is the name of the game. Top end power is cool on the highway when you can actually open it up and stretch it out a little bit, but most of the time, having a ton of torque is really what you'd rather be doing. Oh, I gotta pass, right? Like, I have to. I just have to wait for an opportune moment where I got some visibility and nobody's gonna turn left or jump out in front of me. Okay, this guy's turning right. Here we go. We'll just wait. We'll be safe. We'll be safe, folks. We're not gonna do anything crazy. Because look at that. You go on the overtake, the guy doesn't see you turning left up there, and you get obliterated. Look at all these guys turning, man. That's why you don't want to do that maneuver. Sketchy. All right. There we go. Make sure they see me, and we're on our merry way. So yeah, like a new hyper naked bike, MT-10, MT-09 even, SP. Oh, God, it's so good. The Duke bikes, even a ZH2 if you want to go completely balls out, you can still get a ridiculous amount of performance. You can go 0 to 140 really damn fast, and you're not really compromising on much of anything. That's the thing. People used to say naked bikes were compromised because they weren't as fast, they weren't as capable. Man, you buy one of these new naked bikes, you take it to the track, you're every bit as capable as a super bike if you're a good enough rider. Infamously, last year, right around this time actually, I had some fun with Jixerbra out on the track, and I was on an Aprilia Tuono 660 factory and was running a perfectly acceptable pace out there at Eagles Canyon Raceway, having a ton of fun with the bike, and you can do that with those things nowadays. Now again, above 120, 130 miles an hour, it's not that fun. You get a lot of wind buffeting, a lot of craziness happening on your chest. However, most people don't ride that fast. It's really not necessary to go 140. I'm trying to think of the last time I hit 140 miles an hour, and the answer is never. I never do those speeds, because you're not going to get me, you freaking narcs. So guys, what do you think about leader bikes? What do you think? Who do you think they are for? I'd love to hear in the comments down below. Let's start a discussion about, you know, who these bikes are for, who they're intended for, the kind of audience that's buying these sort of bikes. Obviously, the sales are declining, but again, I don't think it's because motorcyclists are a bunch of sissies. I really think we've just aged out of the guys who were buying them, and now the new crop of guys don't have enough money to buy them. I think that's as simple as that. So, let me know. I appreciate you watching today's video, and join our community over at YamiNoob.co. Keep the conversation going. It's a bike night that never ends over there on our Discord server, and you get access to win some amazing giveaway motorcycles. Catch you guys in the next one. See you later.
Wake up! You're dreaming! You're dreaming! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! None of this is real! None of it's real! None of it's real! Wake up! Keep watching YamiNoob.